with object orientation, correct? We just understood what is object, what are classes, and how do we create an object, access those non-static properties. Everything was done in the previous session, correct? So now in today's session, what are we going to do, sir? We are going to talk about a very, very important topic here and very, very widely used topic. That is nothing but methods here. We need to understand what is a particular method here. Okay, so let me tell you in the most simplest manner here. Okay, what is a method, sir? A method is just a set of instructions in order to perform a specific task. Got the clarity here? It's just a set of instructions. Okay, with those set of instructions here, I am performing some kind of task here. Clear? This is all about it. Okay, now we need to understand something called as syntax. Okay, sir, how does a method look like? Okay, we need to understand how does a method look like. Okay, so the first parameter is always the access specifier. We need to specify what? The access specifier, then followed by return type. Okay, and then we have to specify the method name, open parenthesis close, and open curly braces close. So this is the scope of the method, and I have to write the set of instructions over there. Okay, and optionally I could pass arguments or inputs here. Optionally I can pass the arguments or inputs to the method here, and I can optionally have something called as a return statement as well. I can optionally have the return statement as well. This is how a method will always look like here. Got it? But there are several different ways of writing a method. Okay, so there are many, many, many ways of writing a method. We just need to understand what are the different ways of writing a method. Okay, so the first one which we need to understand is method, okay, without arguments. Okay, what is the first way of writing a method? Method without arguments and, okay, without return statement. Okay, so this is the first way of defining a particular method. So how many ways we have here? We have four ways of defining a method here. Method, now it is with arguments, okay, and without return statement. And the fourth one is method without arguments and with return statement. Okay, and then finally method with arguments and with return statement. So these are the four different ways of having with arguments, without arguments, with return statement, without return statement. So these are the four ways of defining a method, and how should we develop a method and how should we invoke a method. Everything I'm going to explain it in a beautiful manner. We just need to have the patience level. Okay, until and unless I complete the topic, have the patience level, you'll definitely understand this particular topic here. Okay, now when I go back to this particular program, okay, I go back to this topic here, what did you understand here? We kick-started with something called as methods, okay? What are methods? Okay, what is a method? A method is a set of instructions in order to perform some task, okay? If I want to, perform some task, right, or perform some action, I have to always make use of a method. And we have the syntax of developing a method. Okay, so we have to follow the syntax, and there are four different ways of writing a method which I have told you. Now we have to see practically. Okay, we have to see it practically. How do we develop a particular method here? Okay, now here I'll create, okay, my requirement is I have to create a method which will print hello for me. Okay, you understood my requirement? I have to develop a method which will print hello for me. Correct. So what I'll do, I will create a beautiful class. Okay, class, and the class name is demo. Okay, open curly braces and close curly braces. This is the scope of what? Demo class here. I have created a beautiful class and the class name is demo here. Okay, now what is your requirement? My requirement is to create a method, okay, which will print hello for me, correct? So I will give the method name over here. The method name is display. What is the method name here? Display. Open parenthesis close and open curly braces close. This is the scope of the particular method here. Got it? Method name I gave. Open parenthesis close, open curly braces close here. Done. And what is your requirement here? Sir, my requirement is to print hello, sir. Okay. I write system dot out dot println. And what am I supposed to print here? I am supposed to print hello. Clear? In double quotes. Got it? Perfect. I am done developing the method. But now we need to understand, is there any return statement used in my program? Is there any return statement used, or is the method returning something? No. So I have to tell method is not returning anything. I have to write like method is not returning anything. So in order to represent that, we have a keyword called as void. Okay. We have a keyword. What is that keyword name? Void. Void is an indication that the method is not returning any value. Got it? But we will talk about in detail as the session goes on. Okay. I have successfully developed a method, okay, which is going to print hello for me. And access specifier you can ignore. There is something called as public, private, default, protected. So that you can ignore as of now. Later you will understand the meaning of it. Okay. So I have successfully developed a particular method. So now here execution, where will it start from? Sir, execution will always start from main method, sir. Very good. So public static void main, string array of arguments, open curly braces and close curly braces. This is the scope of the main method. Okay, now, and then for my understanding, let me write system dot out dot println, open parenthesis close, okay, and here system dot out dot println, open parenthesis close here. And over here, what am I doing here for my understanding? I will just write it as start at the beginning and end at the last here. Clear? Understood, right? Now here, what will be my output here? What will be the output of my entire program? Okay, the output is, sir, execution will always begin from main method. Start will get executed, end will get executed. Okay, sir, only start and end got executed. But what is the necessity? This method has to get executed. No. When does the method get executed? Only when we call it. Okay, a method has to always be called or invoked. But now this is a static method or non-static method. Sir, you have not used static keyword anywhere, sir. So absolutely it is non-static. Okay, there is no static keyword used. So absolutely this method is non-static here. Okay, so what am I supposed to do if it is non-static? Sir, if it is non-static, sir, please create an object. Okay, this is a non-static method. So let me create an object here. Class name is demo. Okay, D equals to new demo of. Okay, I will create an object successfully. So now why, sir, why did we create an object? Because this is a non-static method. Okay, so I have to store it within the memory first. So I created an object. Sir, now internally what will happen, sir? New meaning, okay, an object is getting created. What is happening here? One object is getting created. Okay, now got it? And this object address is, okay, and what is the address of this object? 111. And who is pointing to that object? D is pointing to this specific object here. Got the clarity? Now once we created an object, meaning the non-static property should get loaded. Correct? So this is the non-static method. So this display method, okay, display method is pointing to some address, for example 0x1. Got the clarity? The display method is pointing to some address 0x1. Clear? And this 0x1 is a place wherein the implementation of the method is stored. That is SOP hello. Correct? That implementation is stored in one particular address. And that address is nothing but, okay, 0x1. It is pointing to the address of the implementation. Okay, this is all about the process here. Got the clarity, guys? So once when I create an object here, display is a non-static method. This non-static method display is pointing to some address 0x1, and in 0x1 the implementation of the method is stored here. Okay, so that I'll let you know later. Okay, what is the memory hierarchy? I will tell you later. There is something called as heap area where the objects get created, and then there is the implementation will always get stored in something called as method area. So we will talk about all those slowly. Okay, so since it's a non-static method, I stored it within the memory. Now here, what will be the output here? Sir, the output is execution starts from main method, sir. Start will get executed. Object got created. Once the object got created, we stored the method within the memory. Okay, we allocated some memory for the method. After that, end will get executed. Sir, hello did not get executed at all, no, sir. Why? Because a method, should always be invoked or called. Okay, only then the methods will get executed. Got the clarity what I told here? Okay, what is the third step here? In order to execute a method, we have to, okay, see, in order to execute a method, we have to call it or we have to invoke it. Okay, this is mandatory. We have to call the method or invoke the method. That is when it will get executed. And what is the syntax for executing, sir? Okay, the syntax is object name. Okay, I have to specify the object name dot, okay, method name of, see, object name dot method name of, open parenthesis close, and terminate using semicolon. See, all the non-static properties should be accessed with the help of object name. You create an object and that obj dot whatever data you have, we need to access it. Clear? So similarly, I go back to my program. What is the method name? Object name. The object name is D. D dot, what is the method name? Display of. I am calling the display of and terminate using semicolon. Now what will be the output here? Simple. Sir, execution will start from main method. Start will get executed. Okay, start beautifully got executed. And then object got created, meaning you allocated the memory for it. And then when I tell D dot display of, I am slowly calling the method. The control is going to the display method. And what am I supposed to print? Hello. Hello will get printed. After the execution has happened, the control will automatically come back to the caller. And what is the next line? End. End will get executed. Got it? So method meaning it's a set of instructions in order to perform some task here. Okay. When does a method get executed? A method will always get executed only when we call it or invoke it. Okay, if we don't call it or invoke it, it would be defined in the class here, but it wouldn't get executed. Okay, now, so this is the basic idea about how do we develop a method and how do we work around with it. Clear? Got it? So can we execute it here in a beautiful manner? Yes, sir. Perfect. Which is the editor we will use now? Is it Notepad, Notepad++, or Eclipse? Sir, we are done with Notepad and Notepad++, sir. Now we have to jump into Eclipse here. Correct. So we will jump into Eclipse. So let me click on Eclipse here. Okay. Let me click on Eclipse. Okay. Once I click on Eclipse icon, it is asking me, hey, select a directory as workspace. So if there is, see, it is already pointing to C users admin desktop JCM63 workspace. If not, you have to just select whichever workspace you want. I wanted 63 and I'll tell OK. So once I click on OK here, automatically, okay, your Eclipse will be opened. but you need to have patience level. Okay, now because it's a huge application here, it will take time to open it. Okay, now so you should have that patience level in you. Okay, now so once this entire process is done, you'll be able to understand it in a beautiful manner. Okay, so perfect. So we got this Eclipse here. If you want, you can go through the overview or tutorials. If not, you'll just click on the option called as Workbench. Click on the option called as Workbench. This, the default home page would appear here. Okay, once it is done here, to work around with Eclipse, I told you it's a three-step process. Project, package, class. Project, package, class. So let me create a beautiful project now. Okay. Under file, I have to click on new. Okay, I have to click on new. After clicking on new, I have to click on Java project. Okay, now, and I have to give my Java project name. Okay, what is the project name, sir? My project name is methods here. Okay, methods. Okay, what is my project name? Methods. And I click on finish. So once I click on finish, the project would get created in a beautiful manner. Once the project, once the project is created, and then there is something called as SRC. It's the root directory or the folder. Now I need to create a package here. How will I create a package? Right click on SRC. Okay, right click on SRC, new, and we have to create a package. Right click on SRC, new, click on package here. What is the package name, sir? So the package name, as I told you, you can give anything, but I give it as com, and why com I will tell you later. Okay, don't ask me now, sir, why com here? I'm telling you no. Okay, give it as com, or you give whatever name you want, but I'll tell you later why is it com. Okay, and I click on finish. Okay, so I create a project, I created a package. Then next what, sir? Oh, class. Okay, how will I create a class? Right click on com, new, and you will create a class here. Okay, so project package class, and I give my class name as demo. Again, you can give any class name. I'm just giving it as demo, and I tell finish. Project package class got created in a beautiful manner. Correct. Now done. See, I get this beautiful part here. See, when I tell package com, there is a folder called as com. And this demo.java file is present in a folder called as com. That's it. And class is a blueprint of an object, and public meaning it's an access specifier actually. Public meaning everyone can access. Okay, public meaning this class can be accessed by everyone. This is all about it. If you want, you retain public, or if not, you delete it. Doesn't matter. Okay. And now, what is your requirement? As I told you, you can have the curly braces in the same line or next line. But in general, in the real-time industry here, we try to prefer, we try to have curly braces on the same line here. Okay. Now I have to develop a method which will print hello world for me. Correct. How will I do it? First, I give the method name, open parenthesis close, and open curly braces close here. Okay. Display is my method name, open parenthesis close, and open curly braces close here. And what is your requirement here? What should the method do? Sir, the method should print hello world for me, sir. What is the shortcut key? Sysout control space bar. Sysout control space bar meaning automatically the print statement would get executed. There's one small pop-up I get. Just click on OK. Okay, just click on OK. And then here you will tell what am I supposed to print? Hello world. Okay, I have to just click on hello world. That's it. But still, why the hell is the method giving an error? Sir, you have missed out on return type. Okay, there is no, see, if I just hover on it, see, return type of the method is missing, So is the method returning any value as of now? No, there's no return statement at all. So the return type will be void here. Void is an indication that the method is not returning any data. This is an example for method without arguments. Okay, what is this? This is an example for method without arguments and without return statement. Okay, without return statement. Okay, now perfect everyone here. Okay, done. So now where is your execution will always begin from? Sir, my execution will always begin from main method, sir. Okay, now very good. For my understanding, I just write it as start at the beginning and end at the last here. Okay, how do I maximize the screen? Control M. Okay, now here, first of all, this method is a non-static method. Okay, now because we don't have any keyword called as static. See, if I return it as static over here, it would behave as a static method. But now since I have not made use of a keyword called as static, it is non-static method. If it is non-static method, what is your first goal? To store it within the memory. How will we store it? I will create an object. Demo D equals to new demo of. I created the object of a class beautifully. After that, when I execute, what will be the output? See, when I execute the program here, okay, look at the output, what I get here. It's taking time here because I'm executing for the very first time here. The console, the terminal has to get ready. Okay. See here, I just get it as start and end here. For what joy do I get start and end? Sir, main method execution starts. Start, object got created, end. Ashte sir, when will the method get executed? Only when we call it or invoke it, right? How do you call it or invoke it? Simple, sir. Object name dot method name of until semicolon. Now when I execute it, look at the output what I get here. Start, object got created. I call the method. The method gets called, hello world will get printed and the method will come back. The control will come back. So this is how we are supposed to understand the data here. This is nothing but what? Calling or invoking. Calling or invoking the method here. Okay, this is what we are supposed to understand. So now when I execute it, did I get the expected output here? Absolutely. This is all about the entire process here. Clear? I hope you all got the clarity about this entire data here. Clear? Perfect, guys. Okay. So anyone having any confusion, guys? Okay, great. Okay. So we shall go ahead. Okay, we'll see one more example over here now quickly. Okay, now guys, I'll create a new class first of all. Okay, let me create a new class. Control N. I will create a new class and the class name, I'll give it as addition. Okay, what is the class name here? I give the class name as addition and the shortcut key is okay, finish. Okay, I'll click on addition class. After that, if even if it is public here, it doesn't matter, guys. Okay, you can ignore it. Okay, you can ignore it. So we have a class called as addition. Now here, my requirement, sir, what is your requirement, sir? My requirement is to create a method which will add two numbers for me. I repeat, my requirement is to create a method which will add two numbers for me. Okay, now, so what is the method name, sir? Add is my method name. Okay, open parenthesis close and then open curly braces close here. Okay, so done. Okay, control A, control I, done. Okay, so I have a class called as addition. Okay, add method is wherein the method name, open parenthesis close, open curly braces close here. And what is your requirement, guys? Your requirement is you need to add two numbers. So basically you require first two numbers, no? So within the, I should give some input, no? A, take two numbers and you have to add it. So I will tell int A, comma, int B. So what does it mean here? To the add method, I am passing two values, that is A and B. Okay, and what is the, I'm passing two values, that is A and B, and the type is int and int. Correct. Now what I'll do here, I'll just tell sys out A plus B. Okay, I'll just write it as A plus B here. Got it. Now here, this is an example for method with arguments. See, method with arguments. The method is accepting some arguments and without some return statement. So now here, if a method is not returning anything, what is the return type we need to do it here? the return type will always be void here. What will be the return type? The return type will always be void here. Got it? So I have a class called as addition and I have a method called as add method. Okay? Which is accepting two arguments and it is adding those two arguments. Since it is not returning anything, the return type is void. Okay, and my execution will always start from my main method. Main method is wherein the execution will always begin from. Again, this add method is a non-static method. So blindly the first role is to store it within the memory. To store it within the memory, what am I supposed to do? Would I create an object? Okay, let me create an object. Addition obj equals to new addition of. I can give any object name as well, right? I give the object name as obj. Now here, when does a method get called? A method will get executed only when we call it, correct? So I tell obj dot add of, I just write it as obj dot add of. But why is it giving an error? So we have to call, no, obj dot add of. I am calling the method here. The reason it is giving an error is because the compiler is nicely scolding us. Okay, he's slapping us and he's scolding us. He's telling the method add int and int in type addition is not applicable, blah blah blah. He's telling here when you call the add method, it is accepting two arguments, but you are not passing any parameters at all. You're not passing any values. Okay, he wants two arguments. No, I will give 10. I give one argument. Again, he's giving an error. Why? Because he's accepting A and B, two arguments, but I'm passing only one argument. Okay, he wants two arguments now. Okay, I give two arguments. Again, he's giving an error. Why? He's telling, hey, Dabba fellow, look here. A is of type int. You need to pass first integer value, and B is also of type int. So you also need to pass integer value. How can you pass a double value? String value. You cannot pass. Now, when I give 20, is it working fine? Absolutely. How? So I am calling the add method. I am passing some parameter. 10 will get stored into a variable A and 20 will get stored in the variable B here. And the respective data types are int and int. So what is A plus B? That is 10 plus 20, 30. So now when I executed, did I get the expected output as 30? Absolutely. I got the output as 30 here. Got it? Can we call the methods multiple times? Can we call the method multiple times? Yes, we can call the methods n number of times based on the constraints here. So I pass obj.add of 6, 3. Now I'm reusing the method. I'm calling it one more time by passing A and B, that is 6 and 3 respectively. When I execute it, what is 6 plus 3? 9. I got it. Can I call it one more time? You can call it n number of times. There is no restrictions at all. No restrictions, nothing. You will be getting your output in a beautiful manner. So now when I executed, did we get the expected output? Yes. Okay, now. So this is about working around a particular method here. You can do it in a beautiful manner as well. How, sir? I will tell you. See, first you can tell A plus B. After adding, store that into a variable called as sum. Okay, now. So when I tell A plus B, you're adding it and you're storing it into a variable called as sum. So you can tell sys out. See, sum of plus A, meaning I'm concatenating sum of A plus space and plus B is plus sum here. So I'll just comment this entire statement. Okay, I'll just comment this. So now when I execute it, look at the output what I get. See, sum of 10 and 20 is 30. Sum of 6 and 3 is 9. Sum of 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 is 5, 7, 9. Got it? So that way we can do it in a beautiful manner as well. Again, if you don't want to do it like this here, if you don't want to do it like this, again, multi-line comment, you can do it in a single line as well. How? Over here, you can just write it as, you can just write it as A plus B directly. Sum of A and B is A plus B. I'm just adding. I'll get the same output. It's all about how good you can analyze and you can derive the output, guys. Okay, it's all about our thinking capacity. Okay, how good we can think and try to derive it. I hope you got the basic idea about how do we work around with this respective content here, right? So this is all about it, guys. Okay, we have to analyze it and we have to do it in a beautiful manner. Clear? So now when I execute it, did we get the expected output? Yes, I got the output. So and we can call a method n number of times here. Clear? Perfect. Anyone having any confusion, guys? We will be seeing a lot of examples here, don't worry here. But as of now, anyone having any questions? Okay, perfect. Okay, so I hope there's no questions. So now we shall go ahead. Okay, and let us try to talk about the remaining things. Okay, so this is an example for what? A method with arguments. See, it is accepting some arguments, but there is no return statement used in the method yet. Okay, now perfect. We're done with a couple of ways of writing or defining a method. Now let us try to understand the remaining part as well. Okay, one more program, we will be done with the basic structure of a method. Okay, now so you don't have to think about a lot of different things. Okay, it's very easy here. Okay, now here, guys, I will create a class and the class name is test class. Okay, now open curly braces and close curly braces. Class name is test, open curly braces and close curly braces. Okay, great. Sir, after that, what, sir? After that, very simple. Okay, I will create a method. Okay, now method name is display. Okay, method name is display, open parenthesis close and open curly braces close here. You can have any method name, guys. Again, it's not that you have to give it as display only. No, you give whatever method names you wanted. And now here within the method, I will tell return 10. So when I tell return 10, it means I am returning some kind of value. Okay, so what does it mean? I am returning some kind of value over here. Okay, so therefore when I tell return 10, since I'm returning some value, the return type cannot be void. Why? Because I'm returning some value. No, it cannot be void here. So now when I tell return 10, based on the value I am returning, I have to decide my return type. So my return type will be int here. How is your return type int? Sir, you are returning 10, sir. Based on the value I am returning, I have to decide my return type. Clear? Similarly, if I am returning 10.5, so if I'm returning a decimal value, my return type will become double here. What will be my return type? Double. If I am returning high, okay, my return type will become string here. So based on the value I'm returning, I have to always decide my return type. Perfect. Understood. Clear? As of now, what is the return type here? The return type is int. Correct? No, return 10 meaning I'm returning a non-decimal numeric value. Therefore, my return type will become int here. Okay, this is all about the entire process here. After that, my execution will always start from main method. Correct? Perfect, no? Done. So now here I will tell system dot, okay, just a moment. I will write system dot out dot println. I will write it as start, where the execution will always begin from, and I'll write SOP end, wherein the execution will always stop here. Okay, so this is wherein I'm just telling here start and end for understanding my execution perspective. Now, sir, first rule, display is a non-static method, sir. Since it's a non-static method, you have to create an object and store it within the memory. Correct? So you will create an object. See, test t equals to new test of. You will create an object successfully. Again, when I tell new, what will happen here? When I tell new, an object will get created. Okay, an object will get created. And the address of the object is 111. And who is pointing to that object? T is pointing to that respective object here. Okay, now got the clarity? Now here, this display method has to get loaded. correct? This display method is pointing to some address 0x1, and this 0x1 is storing the implementation that is return 10. Okay, so I'll just write it into a box shape that so that you will understand in a beautiful manner. Okay, this is all about it. So display method is pointing to some address, okay, 0x1 here, and the 0x1 is pointing to the implementation that is return 10. That's it. When you created an object, this got stored. Now here I have to call the method. That is when the method will get executed, correct? So I tell t dot display of. Okay, what am I trying to do here? I am telling t dot display of. I slowly call the method here. T dot display of meaning I call the method. When I tell return 10, what do you mean by return here? Go back. Okay, return means go back. So when I tell return, the control is going back to the caller. The control is going back to the caller. But it is returning the value called as 10. So when I call the method, and if the method is returning something, okay, he has returned the value called as 10. If a method is returning some value, I have to store it into a variable. So I store it into a variable called as result here. Okay, so whatever value I returned, that will get stored into result here. And what will be the data type here? The return type is int. It's telling the method is returning an integer value. So here the data type will also become int. Got it? I repeat this process, understand. Guys, when I call the method t.displayOf, I call the method. Return 10 meaning the method return meaning go back. The method went to the caller with the value 10. So whatever value it has returned, that will get stored into a variable called as result. And what will be the data type? Based on the return type, I have to decide my data type. That's it. So when a method is returning something, I have to store it. Okay now. And later I have to print that respective value. So I have to just print what? I have to print the result over here. So when I try to print the result over here, t.display of 10 will be printed. If not, I can also call the method directly as well. Okay, I can just tell t.display of. When I tell t.display of, I call the method. Okay, return 10 meaning return 10, return 10, return 10. 10 is returned. So SOP statement will directly print the value. Got it? See, I call the method, he returns 10, I will store it and I will print it. If not, I call the method, he will return 10, the 10 values directly printed. So in simple terms, if a method is returning something, I have to store it and print it later or directly print it. Okay, so this is all about the entire data. Clear? If I'm giving you something, you have to store it, no? Okay, if I'm training you Java here, you have to store it in your brains here. Will you just ignore it? No, right? If I am I'm sharing the knowledge here, you have to store it or you have to utilize it. If I'm explaining you Java concept, and if you're not understanding, if you're not able to concentrate, it's waste, right? Similarly, if a method is returning something, we have to store it and utilize it later here. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand here, right? I go back to my method class here, I mean Java program, and I'll explain it. See, control N. Okay, I create a class. Okay, and the class name is test. Okay, so now you can remove this public. Okay, you can remove this public. Okay, now we have a beautiful class called as test, and I have a method called as display, open parenthesis close, open curly braces close. Okay, I also have a method called as display. Now I will tell return 10 here. So what will be my return type? Will it be void here? Will it be void here? It will give an error. Why? Void meaning the method is not returning anything. But here the method is only returning, no? It's returning 10. So my return type cannot be void. So what will be my return type? Based on the value I am returning, I have to decide my return type. So when I tell return 10, so the return type will become int here. Can you see? I can actually make it a byte short int long. But actually speaking, the most commonly used is int here. So this is an example for what? This is an example for method without arguments. See, the method is not accepting anything, but with return statement. Okay, done. Now where will my execution always start from? Main method. Correct. So here I will tell sys out start. Okay, end. So now since it's a non-static method, let me create an object and store it within the memory. I'll create an object and I'll store it within the memory. Okay. So t dot I call the method display of. That's it. See, when I execute the program here, I just get the output as start and end here. Why? 10 is not getting printed. Sir, apply common sense, sir. Start object got created. T dot display of meaning I am calling the method. Return 10 meaning 10 was returned to the caller. He's the caller, right? He's calling the method. He's the caller. 10 was returned to the caller. If the value is returned to the caller, he has to store it into a variable here. It can be any variable. And what will be the type of that variable? Int here. Why? So t dot display of. I call the method. 10 is returned. That 10 is stored into a variable called as result. Now will I get the output here? No. Why? Sir, you called, it returned, you stored, but you have not printed. Therefore, I have to print it now with the help of SOP statement. Now when I printed, did I get the expected output as 10? Yes, I got it. Similarly, I can directly call the method as well. See, t dot display of. Since the method is returning something, 10 will directly get printed here. Whatever value is returned will get printed directly. Did I get the expected output here? Yes, we got the expected output. This is all about how do we understand it in a beautiful manner. Okay, perfect everyone. Okay, we have to see one more type of examples and then I'll be concluding it with a very good example. But as of now, anyone having any questions, guys, as of now? Any questions, anyone? Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, very good, guys. Okay, so now there is, yeah, okay, great here. Okay, so this is, there's one question here. Okay, what is that question? Sometime plus operator access contaminations and arithmetic operator, how it differentiates. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, so there's one question which I'll answer it at the last here. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so now here, okay, let me create one more program here, okay. So I'll answer your questions at the last here, okay. So I will create a class and the class name is, I'll just give it as example class, okay. So now here, I just remove this public because I don't want public as of now, right. Now here, I will create a method. See, the method name is find, okay, square. Okay, what is the method name? The method name is find square, open parenthesis close, okay, and then open curly braces close, right? So here this is going to be a method with arguments and with return statement, okay. So now here I am passing here one n value. Find square is the method name. I am passing one n value which is of type int. So I am telling return n into n here. What will be the output here? What will be the return type actually? Because it cannot be void. Why? Void meaning the method is not returning anything. But in this scenario here, okay, the method is returning something, correct? So therefore, what will be my return type here? What will be my return type here? See, imagine n is int. So imagine it is 2. What is 2 into 2? 4. So common sense, no? Return 4 meaning what will be my return type? Int only, no? So n is int. Int into int is int only, no? So I'll get the output as int here. Clear? And then here I will have my main method wherein the execution will begin from. Correct? Now here I have to create an object. Why? Because it's a non-static method. Okay? I created an object and I tell e dot find square, not finalize, find square here. Okay, now I call the method. Why is it giving an error here? Sir, you are calling the method called as find square, sir, and this guy is accepting some one integer value, sir. You have to pass that integer value, sir. If not, he won't get executed. So therefore I pass it as 5. Okay, I pass it as 5 over here. So when I tell find e dot find square of 5, I am calling the find square and I'm passing the n value as 5. Return 5 into 5. Okay, what is 5 square? 25. So it's returning 5 into 5, 25. It has returned the value 25. Clear? Now when I execute it here, okay, see I don't get any output. See, if I just open the console here, see I don't get any output at all. Why? Sir, when a method is returning something, what am I supposed to do? I have to store it within the variable. And what will be the type of that variable? It will be int. Why? Based on the return type, I have to decide my data type over here. So now when I execute it, again I don't get any output. See, the console is not yet activated at all. So I open it. See, here no output. Why? Sir, you called the method. It returned some value. You stored it, sir. But you have not printed it at all, sir. Very good. So therefore, I have to print the data called as result. Now when I execute it, look at the output now. Now I get it as 25. Why? You called the method by passing 5, return 5 into 5, 25, that you store it into result and you print the result here. Got it? Similarly, you can call the method directly as well because we are trying to print only, no? So you can tell find square of 4 here. So what is 4 into 4 here? 16. 4 square is 16. I'll get the output as the data here. This is all about the entire process here. Got the clarity? This is all about the entire process, guys. Okay, we have to just think about it and we have to understand the data here. Clear? It's a very, very simple program which we need to understand here. Got it? So I hope we have got the clarity about methods here. Okay, now see here in the first example here, let me tell you. Now let me have a basic revision now. Okay, whatever we did in today's session, we'll just have a basic look, and I'm yet to do a few more things. Okay, understand, wait for it. Okay, so basically speaking, guys, what are methods? Okay, a methods are a set of instructions in order to perform some task. Okay, if I want to perform some task here, I have to make use of methods. Okay, now syntax is return type is mandatory, method name is mandatory, and the arguments you can pass, you might not pass. Return statement you might have, you might not have. Access specifier is also optional as of now. Okay, but we have default, but I will talk about it later. Okay, now we know how do we create a method as well. And when does a method get executed? Only when we call it or invoke it, method will get executed. And how do we call the method here? Object name dot method name. Clear? And the fourth point here is we can call the method multiple times as well. It's not that you will call the method only once. No, you call the method n number of times here. Call the method, call the method, call the method. Okay, it doesn't matter. And then we also had 4 ways of writing a method, right? With arguments, without arguments, with return statement, without return statement. Got it? And what is void here? Void is an indication. See, the method is not returning anything. Okay, now, and return meaning if I have to return some value, if I want to transfer the control back to the caller here, I can explicitly make use of return statement as well. Clear? So this is the job. See here in this specific program here, here I have to just write method is not returning anything. I have to just write it as in normal English. See, display method. What is the job of display method? Is going to print hello world. Is the method returning anything? No, method is not returning anything. So I have to inform the caller. Hey, caller, method is not returning anything. So that I have to do it with the help of void here. When I tell void is the understanding. It's simple indication to the caller that the method is not returning any value. Got it? So again, see, here it is not returning anything. Again, it is value. So again over here, this entire data. Okay, again over here, this entire data. So this is all about, okay, the basic things which we have to understand with respect to methods here. Okay, now here, let me have, okay, one beautiful program here. Okay, so just wait for it, guys, wait for it. And I'll answer to your questions at the last here. Okay, I will have a class called as solution class. Okay, what is the class name? The class name is solution class. Okay, in that solution class, I will have one M1 method. See, what is the method name? M1. Open parenthesis close and open curly braces close. What is the method name? M1, open parenthesis close, open curly braces close here. Got the clarity? Okay, now done. So here I just print, okay, learning methods. Okay, what is the implementation? Learning methods. Okay, now what is the return type, guys? Blindly you have to tell, sir, the M1 method is not returning anything. So the return type has to be void. Why? Because the method isn't returning anything. No, it's not returning. So the return type is void. So this is an example for method without arguments and without return statement, meaning it's neither accepting some arguments, neither having some return statement used. Got it? Similarly, I will have M2 method. Can we have multiple methods? Yes. Okay, see, M2 method. Open parenthesis close, open curly braces close. Here, I will accept one string name, okay, and int age here. So I will print that output here. See, name colon. I'll just print the name plus, okay, plus age colon plus age. This is all about it. Here again, see, M2 is the method name. It is accepting certain arguments. It is accepting two arguments, name and age, which is of type string and int over here. And the implementation is I'm just printing those respective values. So this is an example for method with arguments and without return statement. There is no return statement used here. So what will be my return type? Sir, void, sir, because you're not returning any value. So it's an indication to the caller that he will not store it or print it. Void meaning the method is not returning anything. So therefore I will neither store it nor print it. Simple. And then M3 method. Open parenthesis close and open curly braces close. So here I'll tell return. Okay, return here. I'll just give the company name. I'll just give it as J Spiders. I'll just give it as J Spiders. What will be my return type now? This is an example for a method without arguments and with return statement. Okay, now here M3 method, it is not accepting any arguments, but it is returning J Spiders. Okay, it is returning J Spiders. What will be my return type? Will it be void? Absolutely no. Okay, based on the what value I return, I have to decide my data type, return type. So here it will be string here. So when I tell string, it's an indication, okay, the M3 method is returning a value called as JSpiders, which is a string value. Clear? It's telling, see, exit point of M3, meaning the control is going back to the caller immediately. Okay? And then I'll have one more method, M4, open parenthesis close. Here I will write int A, comma, int B. Okay, simple method, and I will tell return A plus B. Okay, now A plus B. This is an example for method with arguments and with return statement. So here the method is accepting certain arguments and it is also having return A plus B. Int plus int, 5 plus 5, 10. It is also an int value. So the return type will become int here. Based on the value I return, I have to decide my return type. Got the clarity here? Understood the process here? So I have a beautiful solution class and I have 4 methods. M1, M2, M3, M4. And all the 4 combinations of defining a method, okay, that is with arguments, without arguments, with return statement, without return statement, all those 4 combinations, I have represented it over here. Okay, so there is no questions at all. Now, can we access those things in outside the class, sir? Absolutely. It's non-static. Same class or another class, it doesn't matter. We have to always create an object, right? So control N, I create a class called as main class. Okay. And do you want main method over here? Yes, I check this box and tell finish. So here main class is appeared. So if you want to delete this line here, okay, just place your cursor anywhere in this line and tell control D. When I tell control D, this particular line will get vanished here. So I'll drag it towards the right side. Click here and I will drag here. This side, this side, this side, I'll drag. So now here basically this M1, M2, M3, M4 are all non-static methods. So firstly I have to create an object of which class? Solution class. Solution s equals to new solution, or I create an object of what? Solution class here. After I create an object of solution class, what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do? Simple rule. Okay. So wait, just I'll show you. Okay, so these are the four methods which I have, correct? So I have to call the method s dot m1 method. So m1 method, the return type is void, meaning the method is not returning anything. So I will just call the method. I will neither print it nor store it anything. That's it. Clear? And again I call s dot m2 method. When I call m2 method, it is accepting string name and age. So I have to pass those respective data. I'll pass John, comma 25. What did you understand over here? I am calling the m2 method by passing John, that will get stored into name, and 25 that will get stored into age. So therefore name John, age 25 will get printed. Similarly, since it's void, you will neither store it nor print it. Then I'll tell s dot m3 method. So I call the m3 method. Since the return type is string, meaning the method is returning some string value, so I have to store it within the data here. So I just store the variable into company. I'll have the variable name called as company. And what will be the return type? String, no, data type. Because when I tell s dot m3, I am calling the m3 method return jspiders, meaning the value jspiders is returned. I store it into company. So that I can also call print it as company. Okay, that's it. If not, can I directly call it also? Yes, I can directly call it also s dot m3 method. Okay, I can call it in two different ways here. Okay, so this is about the optional part. Then again, s dot m4. M4 meaning I have to call the method by passing a and b value. Why? Why? Because it is accepting certain arguments. No, and it is returning something. So I'll store it as sum. Okay, and the return type will become int here. Why? S dot m4 of 4 comma 5. I am passing a value as 4 and b value as 5. Return 4 plus 5. It is 9. 9 value will get stored into sum, and the data type is int here, and I can print the variable called as sum. If not, you can directly call the method s dot m4 of and pass 12, 78. Whatever data you want, you can pass it. So this way you'll be able to get the expected output here. This is all about the entire process of understanding a particular method here. So once we execute it, look at the output. I get it now. See, learning methods, name, John, age 25, jspiders, and then 9 and 90. So I call the method and I get all these respective answers here. This is all about the basic understanding way, guys. Okay, we have to just analyze the code here and try to print it. So we would be done with this entire process here. It's all about how good we analyze it and print it. So once we do it, I will get it in a beautiful manner. See, this is all about the methods here. The method concepts is simple, but just we need to understand a simple concepts here. Okay, I hope you all got the clarity about this entire data. But generally, how do we write it down? As I told you, we try in real time perspective, we try to have curly braces in the same line. So you can have it in the same line or next line, doesn't matter. But in real time industry, this is what we follow here. Okay, so this is all about the entire process here. Got the clarity here? Perfect. I hope you all got the clarity over here. Okay, so again over here, I can just execute it and we'll be able to derive the expected output. Clear? Perfect, guys. Okay, so here. Okay, so we shall wind up a session for today and catch up tomorrow. Okay, so thank you all. Take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day.